Welcome to Universal Soul Talk, where we stand in solidarity with the nations grappling with genocide, mass killings, corruption within the government, starvation, and displacement. Join us as we navigate through complexities of these humanitarian crises and explore avenues of support, hope, resilience, and calls for change. Hey everybody, I'm Tay Wavvy, and I'm here with Mel Mel.
Hey, family. In this episode, we wanted to explore the intersection of global conflict and the human rights of the individuals that do live in these specific countries we're going to touch on. I feel like shedding the light on these profound impacts in these crises have on individuals and communities are significant. We definitely need to open our eyes and be more aware of what's going on in other countries. So I'm really not excited, but I am happy that we are going to be touching on this topic.
Yes, ma'am. I couldn't agree with you more. And just before we get into the countries that are suffering, something that I do face when having conversations with others is people will tell me, why are you so worried about what's going on in other countries when we have so many issues? We have homelessness, we have starvation, we have corruption in our government, we have corruption within the people who are supposed to protect us, and so on and so forth. And I definitely get that to an extent. I know for me personally, if you've been following me since I was in high school and anytime after that, um, I have been doing my part on speaking out on things that are wrong within this country by helping others, by going to protests, by having conversations. I have been in the crossfire. I have been under scrutiny. I have had my life investigated by police and CPS due to my voice being put out there. So I get that. And we do need to worry about what's going on within our own country. But as somebody who considers themselves a spiritualist, who sees universal love in all places, as a mother, as a lover, as a leader, I cannot stay silent when I see other countries experiencing, other nations experiencing such severity with these issues: genocide, displacement, starvation. It is so real. And before we kind of get into sharing some facts and ways that we can support these places and have these discussions with our peers, I did just want to take a moment to name some of the countries that I have heard that are dealing with these things. Um, I know of the Congo, Palestine, Sudan, Ethiopia, Syria, Haiti, Burma, and I'm sure there are so many more places out there. And if you know of any more, feel free to share them with us. But I urge you to look into some of these countries and look into some of the issues that are going on in these places. Since we only have about 30 minutes, we won't be able to touch on everything and give you all the information. But we did just want to have this conversation to let y'all know again, this is what's going on. This is our role that we're playing. These are some things we can do to make a change, and this is how we can come together and have conversation. And I think a great place to start, since we're on a computer, you're listening on your phone or on your computer, a great place to start is in the Congo. Congo is one of the most mineral rich countries in the world, one of the most mineral rich countries in the world, yet has the poorest economy. Why is that? Exploitation. um Mel, do you want to like kick off this conversation?
Yeah, definitely. I'll be honest with you guys. I have not, like Tay. She has been very invested in global conflict awareness for many years. I personally, just being completely transparent, have just within the last few months tried to gain this knowledge and educate myself and have this awareness myself on what's going on in these other countries. And let me tell you, and I'm getting a little emotional because when I tell you I watched these videos, and of course some of them, they're censored, so you have to accept to watch them because they are so horrific and horrible, the things that are happening to these people. And I started watching these videos, and I instantly like felt like a horrible human being, even though it has like I don't have direct influence on what happens to these individuals. I sit here and I complain about the stupidest things sometimes. As like a human, you know, you're like stuck in your own mind, in your own situation, in your own lifestyle, and you kind of get comfortable in that place, and you kind of forget that there's so many other people out there that have it 10,000 times worse. And don't get me wrong, I do self-reflect and have these moments where I do recognize that, and I'm like, you know, chill out, you know, you're blessed, you're lucky, you have a lot more than so many people in this world. But it's still watching these videos, it's so heartbreaking and really disgusting is the word, to see the way that these people are treated in other countries. And as you stated about, they're the most mineral um influence country. They have so many amazing things that so many countries benefit from, like cobalt, copper, coltan, which a lot of these things that they are mineral rich in, we are exploiting them, as you said, for these minerals, which are used coincidentally in our smartphones, our laptops, our electric vehicles. And also really anything that is technology is influenced by these things. And when I tell you that these people, they're supposed to be machines that are extracting these minerals from the ground, not people, not citizens. And these people of Congo are being shoved in these tiny crevices, these tiny tunnels. I mean, hundreds of them, kids, adults, teenagers, all squished in this tiny little tunnel, digging all day, every day to try to extract these minerals. For what? For us to drive these Mercedes Benz, for us to drive, you know, Rolls Royces, which are unfortunately for them, supporting supporting this treatment and this exploitation of these people in this country. For a country that has all of these significant, vital minerals, they should be living a significantly better life, or at least have better health care, more hospitals, actually having good hospitals, like where they have supplies, where they have fresh water. Like, these people are being injured, or being, you know, exposed to the sun to the point where it's like burning their skin off because they are in these tunnels for so long, in these crevices, extracting these minerals, that they have no way to clean them. They are dying of infection. They are dying from starvation. They are dying from dehydration because their water is not clean. It is contaminated in every sense of the word. They have to wash their clothes in this water, which again is contaminated and does not actually clean absolutely anything. So they have actually no way to be clean, which is disgusting to me, in the sense that this is allowed, that this is allowed to be happening to people in the human race, regardless of the country, the continent, the nationality, the culture, whatever the case is, whatever word you want to use. We as humans all deserve to be treated equal, to be treated with love, to be treated right. And their human rights are have been stolen from them. They have no control over anything that they do. And it's absolutely devastating to me.
It is devastating, and I think what gets me the most upset, what gets me the most emotional, is the role that the United States plays in allowing this to happen. I'm not going to drop names. Like I said, I urge you to do your own research. I'm not here to put names out there. I'm not trying to exploit any set individual, but I will say look into the people who are behind um, exploiting the Congo for its minerals. Most of the mining for these minerals are done by children. With that being said, obviously, a child, I mean, if you're a parent, think about your child going in to mine for minerals so that people can buy the latest iPhone when it comes out, so you can have the newest laptop when it comes out, so you can drive the newest Tesla when it comes out. You know what I'm saying? I feel like there is such a disconnect between us over here in this country and like where we're getting our supplies from. How do you have the cell phone that you have now? And most likely it hasn't been ethically sourced. The resources in the technology that we have is not ethically sourced. And excuse me, but like that's just fucked up. And it was so eye-opening to me. I believe it was back in November. There was a Congolese man who set himself on fire holding a sign that said stop the genocide in Congo. And that is when I really started looking into what is going on over there. And like Mel was saying, the people are suffering like full circle. Approximately, and these numbers can be a little bit off, but approximately 7 million people have been displaced. Um, People are slaves to mining. Again, mostly children are slaves to mining for these resources so that we can have these luxurious technology items, and diamonds and things of that nature. But like the biggest thing is technology. um, so I started asking myself, what can I do to stop this? um, and I know a way for me to start is A, having these type of discussions, but B, to stop falling into consumerism as much as I was. I was the type of person that every 2 years, whether my phone was doing bad or not, I would upgrade to the newest iPhone. Or if the commercial got me well enough saying like you need this new iPhone, it does da 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 da, I would be trading this phone in and buying a brand new iPhone, buying a brand new laptop, considering buying a smart car. Um, Not realizing that I was contributing to the exploitation of the Congo. Um, so going forward, um, my cell phone is technically eligible for an upgrade, but I'm not going to upgrade it. If my phone does start to break down or whatever, I can get a refurbished phone, a phone like not a brand new phone. You know what I'm saying? And I it's hard. I know that it's hard because I'm like, okay, wow, like I work from my phone, I do things from my phone, I create content from my phone. We're doing this podcast from like brand new laptops and cell phones and things of that nature. So I know we can't stop using technology because this technology is actually connecting us with the videos, with the information, to be connected to these people and know what's going on over there. But calling out iPhone, calling out Apple, calling out Samsung, calling out Google, calling out Tesla. Those are all things we can do, to let these giant companies know that we know how they're sourcing their materials. We know that they are enslaving people. We know that they are contributing to the genocide of those people. We know that they are robbing this country of their resources and their minerals. And I can't say for sure that this is going to work, but going on to I know people have been going to their TikTok, to their Twitter, to Facebook pages, and dropping information about the Congo, saying that we stand in solidarity with the Congo, saying that we refuse to buy their newest iPhone that they're dropping. We refuse to buy the newest Tesla model that they're coming out with. We will not buy the newest Samsung, Google phone, whatever it is. We won't do it. And I feel like that is a way to not only bring awareness, but to also call for change. I'd rather pay more, and I know that's and not everyone is willing to like pay more, but I'd rather pay more for something that's ethically sourced. I don't want to carry around blood in my hands. I don't want the blood of a child. You know what I'm saying? Just so I could have the newest of the new. I can't. That just doesn't sit right with me.
Right. That's how I feel too. And like I said, I recently have gotten into this information, and I'm glad that I did, because the amount of companies, corporations, businesses that are involved in this conflict, in this exploitation, is astounding. There are companies that people go to every single day that use, buy, um, their items every single day. And some of them would be including Starbucks, which I am guilty of. I used to literally buy Starbucks every single day. They have the best espresso, they have really good coffee. And now sitting here recognizing that they are a part of this, they are a part of this conflict, this genocide, this disgusting motive that they have. I personally, I can't support them anymore. I can't. So I plan to buy an espresso machine, and I plan to drink my coffee that way right from my home, because I am not going to sit there and invest my money into people that have the balls, if you will, to support something so disgusting, so dehumanization. Okay, no, that's not what I meant. Can we pause that? So to me, it's just, I can't do it anymore. Other places are like Amazon. I mean, who doesn't use Amazon? You know what I mean? People use Amazon all day. They are a $1 trillion company. That over like the pandemic, people started using more and more and more, and supporting more and more and more, because nobody wanted to go outside. Nobody wanted to go to Walmart. Nobody wanted to go to Publix. So they became rich that way, and now they are one of the companies, or potentially have been, um that have been a part of this. KFC, McDonald's, HP, Ford, Toyota, Nike. Like, there's so many companies that people would be like, really? I had no idea that I was supporting these company and walking around with their death on my hands. And I know that sounds very like extreme, but what they're going through is extreme. How they're being treated is extreme. Um, I'm not sure if you guys have any idea of like what the women and children go through in Congo, but the women are treated absolutely horribly. They are raped on a daily basis, like violently raped by rebels. Um, the children, if they are girls, it is the same thing. They are treated the same way. They are beaten and they are raped. Some of them obviously are going to die from being in this environment and being treated the way that they are. And their rights and their identity are being stolen and taken away from them, and they have no, their word means nothing anymore. They are silenced. And as a woman, as a mother, as a wife, um that's heartbreaking. It really, really affects me, um really, really deep, to hear that there are women being treated that way. And yes, there are many other countries that women are treated poorly, or not seen as equal. I think we are actually probably one of the only countries here in America that actually established the equal rights. I believe in other countries, women are inferior and men are superior. But to be in America, and to have that equal rights, in the sense that we stand up for ourselves, we can speak our truth, we can stand in our truth. We don't have to deal with men or these men, if we choose not to. We have choices. We do have rights to a certain extent. And these women and children do not. And this, where this all started was back all the way back in the late 1990s. Two major wars broke out in Congo, and it has been happening ever since. Um, Now, these wars ended in 2003, but the violence, the rebels, and all of that has continued and has only gotten worse.
And
Um,
the way that the United States has kept their hand over Congo the entire
mhm,
time has continued to make it worse. Even if the wars are done, I feel like we have gone there and we have started a war that those people can't keep up with. They can't keep
mhm,
up with because we are, and I don't mean this in a good way at this time, we are such a powerful force over there, and not just us, not just America, tons of other Western nations, our allies, are also over there making it impossible for these people to breathe. Um, so when you hear these things, um, I want you to think about the issues that we face in this country. I know personally, when we see especially a black person, a black man be treated poorly by police, we will all gather in the streets and say, I can't breathe, I can't breathe. And yes, like I was one of those people screaming, I can't breathe. And I thought about that, like, how do those people feel? Because they have a hard time even doing what we did. We here could go out and we can protest. And yes, I know firsthand I faced a lot of backlash. I lost my job. I lost friends. Like I said, I was put in the back of a police car. I had CPS at my door. But it wasn't anywhere near the severity that these people are experiencing. And like what Mel was saying, a lot of women in these countries that are being occupied are facing a lot of brutality, sexual assault, mistreatment. I think all the people are dealing with mistreatment and displacement and stuff like that, but heavy on women being the subject of this, children being killed for whatever reason. And it's just so sad to see.
yeah, it is. And I'm going to switch it up a little bit from Congo, and I'm going to switch it over to what is happening in Gaza. Um, that is another place that there is absolutely horrible things happening to these people on a daily basis, all day. Like their towns, their homes, their buildings, their businesses are to the ground all day, every day. They're getting airstriked. Their Israel is literally airstriking citizens, not military. The military are down in the ground under the tunnels, preparing, fighting, doing whatever it is that they're trying to do to fight back. They are not in the homes, towns of these citizens. And so when Israel is airstriking these towns and these cities and these homes, they are killing the people of Gaza, not the military, the people, the innocent people that are in their homes praying to God that their house doesn't come down that day, that their family isn't completely slaughtered and blown into a million pieces, and that their children are not hanging in their arms because they just had to carry them from an airstrike location and pray to God that they can make it to the hospitals to assist them, to help them, in hopes that there's a way to save them. And there are times where obviously they are killed immediately and they have to take these children and carry them to bury them, and it's absolutely horrible.
Yeah, no, Gaza. So the issue with Gaza has been going on since the late 19th century, early 20th century. Um, Zionists going in there trying to occupy the Gaza Strip, and there has been some times of cool, calm, and collectiveness. And back in October, I believe it was October 7th, 2023, the war picked back up again on catastrophic levels. And for me, this was the first time back in October that I actually saw war live streams. I always followed an influencer. Her name is Bisan, and she was an influencer in Palestine, and she would show the beautiful culture, the food, the religion, the people, and then her content became solely about the war and how the media, and when I say the media, I mean our news sources like CNN and Fox. And yeah, they may have said something now, but back then they made it seem like, well, Israel is protecting themselves from Hamas. And I understand that every country has a right to defend themselves, and that's cool. But Hamas was in the school buildings. You're telling me the terrorist groups were in all these school buildings. There are no universities left standing in Gaza. I believe there's like one hospital that is functioning right now, and it is not functioning at full capacity. Um, there are no places for these people to go. People were told to go, I believe, south to Rafah, and then Rafah was completely bombed as well. And the way these people have been displaced, there's, like I said, there's nowhere for people to go. And they say that they're fighting this terrorist group, and yet they're bombing civilians. They're bombing where they told the civilians that they were safe. Imagine someone telling you, if you go, let's just say, 5 miles west, you're going to be safe there. So you set up tents. Tents, okay? Not even houses. You're in tents with your family, with your kids. And then while you're sleeping, your camp is struck by missiles, bombs, whatever, gunfire. People are being kidnapped. People are being sexually assaulted, raped, killed, hung. Um, there are even Israeli military people that are taking pictures and videos, proud of what they're doing. And I think when people of Israel, or anyone else in the Western nation, saying that they're trying to defend themselves, I think that that's just a fucking line of bullshit. And I'm sorry to put it like that, but it is, because there is no reason. There's no reason to go after children. There's no reason to go after civilians. Military versus military. That's a war. That's a war. And I get countries have to have wars, and I get it. And I respect military men and women who step up to serve and protect. But when it's the military just killing innocent civilians, where do you draw the line? Um, there was humanitarian relief that was trying to come into Gaza, and that had airstrikes and bombs dropped on it, so that these people can't even get humanitarian aid. This is a global crisis, and Israel is committing war crimes. They're committing war crimes of the killing and displacement of innocent people, of civilians. I can't wrap my head around. I mean, I'm in a town right now. I can't imagine being in this town and being attacked like that, and not knowing where to go, and not knowing where my kids are safe, and not knowing if my partner is going to come home in one piece. And then, do you even have time to bury your loved ones? The amount of people crushed under rubble, the amount of people starving, the amount of people just trying to get by day, and just not being allowed to, or being covered in fear because they don't know when the next strike is going to come, or they don't know when Israel's going to drop those letters for them to have to move again. I just think what's going on is disgusting. And to go back to what Mel was saying, I just want to touch on boycotting for a moment, because that is a very controversial method of standing up to these people. Yeah, boycotting is very controversial, and I just want to unpack that for a second. um I remember when I told Mel, I also was somebody who loved Starbucks. I'll go to Starbucks all the time. They have great coffee. I'm on the go a lot. I travel a lot. That's just been my life. I mean, since I was a little girl, I've been going to Starbucks. But once I learned that the way they supported Israel, I couldn't I couldn't drink it in peace. I remember the last time I had Starbucks and I was just holding it like this is disgusting, not because the coffee was disgusting, but it felt like it just felt wrong, and I knew that's when I had to start boycotting some of these companies, all of these companies, as many as I knew about. And every time I hear about something more, I add that to the list of places I'm not going to go to, places I'm not going to support anymore. And if you're considering boycotting, don't listen to these people on the internet where they tell you, oh, you're selective boycotting, da 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 da. Makes no sense, because it does go so deep. Like, we're just talking about a few places, like Mo was saying, like Starbucks and McDonald's and Nike and this one and that one. But if you look at all the places that are pro-Israel, it's almost every single place, because I believe they signed something to where, like, you can't in America, like, you can't be against Israel. Those are our peoples, so they say. They're not my people, but they're our country's people. So a lot of these big corporations are pro-Israel, and I understand that it is hard to boycott everything, because where are you going to get this from? Especially things that are more affordable. So I don't fall into the trap of it's wrong to selective boycott. You boycott whatever you feel you need to boycott, and it makes a difference. Your dollar matters. Your dollar matters. Um, as for like Nikes and stuff like that, I mean, I'm not a wasteful person. Like, I have tons of Nikes upstairs. Um, I don't plan on wearing them. I'm not going to throw them out. Can I still donate them when the time comes? I can, because somebody here in this country who really needs shoes can wear them, and we still have to take care of people and so on and so forth. But I don't need to give them any more money. Um, you don't have to feel guilty for wearing your Nikes because you've had them and you can't afford to get new shoes right now. Like, the economy's fucking tough. Times are tough out here. Um,
Exactly. It's about like moving forward, like making
yes,
being like have your awareness of moving forward and what choices you make and who you choose to support from this moment on once learning about
yes.
it. Yeah.
Yes. So as you go forward, now you can just be mindful. You can just move with wisdom and discernment. You can know better and you can do better. Another thing is, like, really look into your area and see what small businesses are out there. Most small businesses do not support what's going on at all. And not only are you taking a stand against these horrible things happening, but you're helping people within your community survive. Um, I've always been a small business person, but now more than ever, like, even down to my clothes. I'm trying to make sure that the things that I'm purchasing are ethically sourced. That's the biggest thing for me. I want to make sure that things are ethically sourced. I want to make sure that a company is not out there giving free food to the Israel military as they drop bombs on children and innocent people and so on and so forth. So if you feel like, okay, I'm going to start with Starbucks, then good for you. Just start with Starbucks. Just then move on to something else if you feel it's in your heart to do something. If that's something you can't even wrap your mind around at this time, have conversations. Have these conversations. I know that it got to the point with me, and I talk to Mel just about every single day.
Okay.
I talk to Mel every day, and it got to the point where, like, I was watching these videos, I was doing my research, I was becoming informed with what was going on, and I just had to talk to her about it. Like, hey, um, I'm not okay today, because I see that this is going on in Gaza. I see that this is going on in the Congo. I see that this is going on in Sudan. Whatever it was that I was um, hyper focusing on that day. And I just started to have those conversations with her. Like, as a mom, I can't be silent, and I just need to talk to my friends about this. And I need to bring awareness to what's going on, because maybe everything that I saw or I'm aware about, she may not know, and like vice versa. So I think that having these conversations with your peers, with your friends online, are very important and they make a difference just speaking out. I know another thing that you can do that is not boycotting, that is not having these conversations, is specifically on TikTok. You can use certain filters or certain songs that A, raise awareness, but B, the money from using the filter or from using the song goes to an artist that is either connected in Sudan, that is connected in the Congo, that is connected in Palestine, and the money is able to go to those people who are in need, or to the families that are in need, or families trying to get out, or people that need the money down there. Um, Also, like on the TikTok shop, you can find creators who are Palestinian, who are Congolese, who are from Sudan, and so on and so forth. And they are selling items to raise money to fund kitchens, to fund education, to fund humanitarian relief, to fund food to all of these places. And I know we're getting close to almost 40 minutes, so I'm really trying to speed this along. But I also just want to touch on Sudan, who is also experiencing an atrocity right now within their nation. Back in April in 2023, that is when a war had really broken out there. 18 million people are experiencing acute hunger right now. 5 million people are literally facing emergency hunger right now. A projected 3 million people will die within 3 months, okay, if they don't get the aid that they need right now. And we have to do more than pray for these nations, because I know that's another thing, especially when I talk to religious or spiritual people. It's like, oh my gosh, like I'm going to pray for them. But that's not enough, okay? Faith without works is dead. This is a call to action, and we need to do something. Just having conversation is doing something.
And
Boycotting is
listen,
doing
you
something.
know, I just want to add this real quick just to point it out. I know there's a lot of people in America that don't have a lot either. And I know there's a lot of people in America that are
Yes,
struggling themselves. And I
yes,
know there's a lot of people in America that are like, how do you expect me to like donate to a charity for another country when I can't even keep my lights on? But like she said, it's more than just praying. Spread the word,
yes.
share the information, make it known, share it, spread the awareness, so maybe other people can do what you may not be able to do in that moment.
Yes, yes. And like I said, like there are ways, like in the way that people have set it up, especially on TikTok, that's been a great way to connect with other people who are trying and calling for change. They've set it up so like if you play a song, and you know how people get paid off of the music on TikTok and off like the filters that are created, you can literally make a private video using a sound or using a filter, or just a video of you just chilling, using the song, looking at the audience. You don't even have to say anything. Just use these sounds, use these filters, bring traffic to these shops that are providing aid for people in these places. There are things where you don't have to spend a dime of your money to call for change. Like I said, have these conversations with your friends, have these conversations with your family. They are uncomfortable. They're like weird, because it's like, what do I say? What do I do? But just talking does so much. I couldn't imagine in Sudan, like 8.6 million people have been displaced. 80 about 80% of the hospitals are out of service. 19 million children are out of school. Again, as a parent, I couldn't imagine the level of desperation that I would feel if I was trapped in this situation. And there, in just about all these situations, there are no way for these people to leave. We have the luxury, like Mel was saying earlier, if I don't like something that's going on in my home or going on in my community, I can get up and I can leave. If I don't like what's going on in my state, like I did not like the way New York, the direction New York was going to, so I moved out of New York. I can get up and I can take my family and I can move. And these people do not have that luxury. So we need to call for change. We need to advocate. We need to let our leaders know that we are displeased. And I see that more and more people are speaking out. There are certain celebrities that are speaking out. There are people that are calling upon Biden and other legislators to say this is wrong. We need to
Ceasefires.
do something. Stop the
Yep.
stop what's going on there. To me, no one is free until we're all free. So I may live in a free country, but I am not free until my brothers, sisters, and children of the world are also free within their nation. Everybody deserves to live their life. Everybody deserves to wake up and see the sunshine. Everybody deserves to have healthy, happy, thriving children. And although there are
To
other
feel
issues in these
safe.
places, and feel safe, yeah, and although there are other issues outside of the wars that are going on, I'm sure these people would feel 50,000, if not a million times better if this shit just came to an end. So I feel like the whole point of this podcast was to let you guys know where we stand on these global issues, to let you know that we are talking about it, to let you know that we're calling for change and we're asking y'all to help us in that. Help us by educating yourselves. There was no way that we can touch. There's so many other countries that I didn't even get a chance to mention, the atrocities that are going on there. But I urge you to do your own research, to look into these places that are suffering right now, and to pick a side. And I know for me, I'm not going to be on the wrong side of history. I'm not going to turn the blind eye to what's going on. I'm not going to let my children think that everything is beautiful out there in the world when it's not.
Mhm.
And I sure as hell am not going to keep putting my hard earned money into businesses and products that support genocide, displacement, starvation, and so on.
Right, exactly. I mean, just in Gaza, and we're gonna wrap this up, but I just have to say this: just in Gaza, there has been 19,000 children who have become orphaned because of these airstrikes, because of Israel and what they are doing. Um, it just baffles me that children have to watch, like, be the adult and console their mother and their father when their brother is killed, or when their sister is killed, or when their mother's killed and they're having to console their father. 11,500 children have been killed since October 7th. um think about that. Think about, like, your child. Think about think about if you woke up to smoke and shards of things, of your house, of your personal belongings everywhere. Your friends are dead, your family is dead, you're fearing for your life at every second and moment of your day, and you are watching everyone die around you. And in us here, we may not feel safe all the time, but we are damn sure safer than those types of situations and those people over
Facts.
there. And if our kids
Facts.
were in those situations, we would fight to the death for them, because that's what a good parent does. So imagine how helpless they feel right now, because they can do absolutely nothing but fight or flight to just get to the next hour, to the next minute, to the next day. It's just, we have to stand up. We have to do more. And I'm going to read this quote: "We are so uncomfortable with the immediate conflict that we would have individually, that we accept the certainty of bad results to avoid the possibility of an uncomfortable conversation." And I feel like this is one of the biggest problems we have in society, is that we speak when we shouldn't, and when we should, we're silent. When it really matters, we're silent. And I think this is the time that we need to come together and stand for our people.
It is most definitely the time that we come and stand together, because also on top of it just being that it's the right thing to do, these people have called on us, especially us over here in the United States, to say something, to do something, to stop supporting these things, to stop allowing this exploitation and these murders of people to continue. So we've been called. We've been called by the universe. If you believe in God, you've been called by God. And you have been called by our brothers and sisters in other areas to take a stand. So, with that being said, we will be linking in the description certain places that you can donate to, certain people and videos that you can watch, certain ways for you to allow your voice to be heard. And again, To me, no one is free until we are all free. And I'm not going to stop talking about this until until I see free nations. Um, and that sounds crazy and unrealistic, but it is what it is. Um,
But
I
if
do.
more of us come together and have that same mindset and have that voice and stand in that, there could be change. That's what it's about. We have to unite and come together. And the louder we are, the more likely it would be that things will change.
Yes. So your voice matters, your money matters, your input matters, your conversation matters. So, yes, be sure to check out the description. If you've never checked out our descriptions before, I urge you to check them out this time so that you can be connected to resources so that you can help these people as well. And yeah, we do have to like wrap it up at this time, but I did just want to let you guys know that it is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month and Father's Day coming up. That was originally
Yes.
our plan for the month of June, to just focus on lifting up our men, supporting our men, loving on our men, and the fathers within our community and across the globe. But I can't elevate fathers across the globe when these issues are going on. So, that is what we will be focusing on next week with Father's Day coming up. Men, we are still giving you your time to shine, but it was just as people, um, we had to take a stand and let y'all know where we stand as a podcast and as individuals.
Yes, exactly. We appreciate you guys tuning in and listening to everything. We really do just hope for peace. We hope for unity. We hope for everyone in the human race to have the same chance that we like may have here in America or maybe in other countries. But we just need peace for everybody, and just please share as much information as you can. If you can't donate, if you can't do more, that's okay. There's so many other ways. It costs $0 to share a post or share information or add, like you said, sounds or music or anything onto a video and share it as much as you can. It costs $0 to spread the word. So that is all we ask of you. And we love you guys. And we hope that you all have an amazing month. And we will talk next week.
Yes, y'all, we'll see you guys next week. And remember, no one is free until we're all free.